Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about crypto, we'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys. We're going to do some maintenance on our Ledger Live. I will do my very best to answer your questions and maybe do some troubleshooting tonight. Also, we'll talk about the importance of storing your 24-word backup phrase and some of the pitfalls involved in that. So let's jump right in. All right, so good evening. Hello. Nice to have everybody here. It's a nice Saturday evening here in Michigan. We had some snow this morning, but I'm pretty sure it's all, there's no evidence of it right now. But it was a little bit of a dusting this morning and some snowfall around 8, so it's kind of cool. Winter keeps its icy grasp on Michigan a little bit longer than most of the rest of the country, right? But it's fun. It's nice. I'm here with the rig. Had some problems with my Windows. I don't know if it was a Windows update or whatever, but I kept booting up into like a generic Windows background, so I knew something wasn't right. And then it said preparing Windows, and I just got that endless dot chasing its tail. And I went through so much unplugging all my devices, and I eventually booted from a Windows device. I have a bootable flash disk, and just basically did a restore point back to like March 25th, and lo and behold, it worked. So now I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop when it runs its update again. But anyway, enough about me. Let's jump over here and welcome everybody that's here. I do own a few NFTs, not 50, but I've never. We'll talk. Maybe we can talk a little bit about NFTs. But my thinking of NFTs was that if I bought an NFT, that it would get more valuable with age. I think I had that wrong. So I was like, oh, I'm getting in on the NFT in the very beginning. But NFTs are very timely, right? There might be a new collection that comes out, and if you grab it right as it's minted and then, sell it at a profit while it's hot within the first week, you might be okay. But then after that, people start to lose interest in that particular series. So they're very flighty. They're not like you can buy one and then down the road in 5 years it's going to be valuable. So I have a couple that I bought way back in the day thinking, oh man, these are going to be worth so much back in the, I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, NFT trading is a something I'm not savvy about. I know what they are. I've gone through the mechanics. But trading NFTs is sort of beyond my expertise. Let's put it that way. I'll go ahead and pop out chat here. It looks like Daniel just joined us. That's JDO's real name. Hope you don't mind if I call you Daniel. If not, just let me know. We can still refer to you as JDO. Let's see. I got that chat window over there. Let's go over here. What am I trying to do? I don't know. Oh, I think what I want to do is this, right? Let's talk about the news. So, cryptos are down today. There was the stock market drug the crypto market down. That's that's all we can, that's the best way to say it. Crypto used to be sort of independent of the stock market, and now it's very correlated with the stock market. We, in the early days, thought that crypto would be a store of value, a method of exchange, of course, but it turns out that mostly the people that are buying and selling crypto. There are those of us that are buying and holding mostly and selling sometimes, but I think the majority of people that are trading in the crypto market are trading it as a risk asset. So it tends to go down when the stock market goes down, right? Whenever the Fed makes some kind of announcement, or the Russian and the Ukrainian thing rears its ugly head. It pushes the stock market up or down, whether it's good news, bad news. The crypto markets have been tending to follow, right? But anyway, here we go. Cryptos waver as speculators lose interest. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Let's get the speculators out of the game and then just put the real players, the people that believe in crypto and are going to buy it as an investment in their future, right? Investment in an emerging technology, just like you would buy a stock, right? Conservative investment. It's really hard to peg down the reasons why people buy crypto. I have lots of different reasons for buying crypto. But as this shows, open interest in the BTC futures market is starting to decline. Now, these are the people that are trading futures contracts. They're not actually buying Bitcoin. They're just sort of buying contracts that get settled in cash. They don't get settled in Bitcoin. So I would like to see real settlement of futures contracts someday. That would increase the demand for real Bitcoin. And then, of course, we're all waiting for the fabled, storied ETF to be approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission, which I don't know if that's ever going to happen. It would be amazing if it did, which would allow funds that actually hold Bitcoin to be traded on major stock exchanges like the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. That would increase quite a bit of demand for Bitcoin. But anyway, so here we are. We were pushing 47 a couple days back, and then the bad news hit, I guess, around Wednesday or Thursday, and we've kind of been down ever since and kind of treading water. Currently, we're at 42,814 according to Crypto.com. I did not get this thing set up, so let's hope that it works on the first try. Let's see here. I was hoping that I would have everything set up properly. But anyway, so that's the market. We're down a little bit. Hey, and the phone came up right away. Good for us. All right, so there we go. Crypto.com, 42,809. That's a good readout of the current price. They're based in Hong Kong. Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin over the last month or so. Continues to look pretty good percentage-wise from where it had been earlier in the year, right? Let's see. We've got pretty good. The Bitcoin conference in Florida, I think it's in Miami, is a yearly gathering of Bitcoin enthusiasts. And Peter Thiel, I think is how you pronounce it, not Thiel, but Thiel, he calls Warren Buffett a sociopathic grandpa from Omaha. Now, the story, when he first gave his speech at the Bitcoin conference, that was not the headline, and I kept trying to find it. But basically, the headline is that he was referring to the gentocracy, and now I can't even find it here. I guess that was at the gentoc. There was something about the gentocracy, and it was kind of an equally bashing Warren Buffett, Jamie Dimon, and BlackRock's Larry Fink. But somehow, over the last couple of days, the statement that he said that Warren Buffett was a sociopathic grandpa from Omaha has sort of taken over this headline. I don't know. He's probably a pretty passionate guy. If you don't know, Peter Thiel founded PayPal or was one of the co-founders of PayPal. So a very early pioneer in being able to purchase things on the internet. To me, when I first heard of PayPal back in a while ago, it was like, oh, good, internet money, right? So the idea for me was, well, people worry about using their credit card online, exposing their information to shady sites or whatever. But for me, when I heard about PayPal, it was like, oh, now I can just like deposit money into this thing, PayPal, which is like internet money. And then I can use that to buy stuff on the internet, and I won't be exposing any of my credit card data, right, to these individual sites. I would expose my credit card to PayPal or my debit card or whatever to load up my PayPal account. PayPal is many things, but it was one of the early pioneers of like money that you could use on the internet to buy stuff. It is centralized though, and it's very reliant on the current financial network, right? So anyway, the Bitcoin conference is in full swing. Peter Thiel lashed out at the gentocracy, the enemies of Bitcoin. The one thing about that it took a while for it to sink in for me was this Bitcoin conference that they have is all Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin centric. They don't talk about Ethereum. They don't talk about other altcoins. It's simply a Bitcoin conference to the exclusion of all other cryptocurrencies, which is kind of a downer for me. I think what they need to do is have a crypto conference every year. Like the AES, or the electronic show that they do in Vegas every year about all the new electronics that are coming out. Big draw for all the gadget heads, and the big tech companies making announcements. They should have something like that for crypto in general, where all the cryptocurrency companies could participate, right? All the leading voices of like Ethereum and Avalanche and Luna and Charles Hodgkinson's from Cardano, they could all get together and have this big conference where they talk about stuff. That would be great, right? Maybe they should listen to me. So anyway, that was the news from the Bitcoin 2022. And then this is an interesting story about the GOP, which is the Republicans. They that GOP stands for Grand Old Party. If you didn't know that, which is kind of weird. I think that's like from the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. Originally the Republicans were they weren't anti-slavery, but they were against the expansion of slavery, and they were based pretty much in the North, and they elected Lincoln. And after the Civil War, they were strengthened by the Grand Army of the Republic, the GOR, which was basically most of the Union veterans. And they formed a voting bloc, or an association, to make sure that they were represented in government and that they got their pensions. But that was their big thing. So from the Grand Army of the Republic, I guess they somehow migrated it over to be the GOP, which is, I don't know why I'm talking about this. But anyway, they have released this paper, and it's a study, and it's a Senate committee that is the Senate Republican Policy Committee, which forms like their political policies going forward. And they basically just talked about cryptocurrency and what it is, and what its benefits could be. They mentioned its dark side, of course, but it looks like, this is a far cry from 2017, when crypto was pretty much underground kind of people, right? The government didn't really talk about it much, and if they did, it was negative. And so now here we are. We've got a Senate committee uh, that is studying and talking about cryptocurrency. And it looks like, they're going to become more crypto savvy going forward and dealing directly with crypto, which is a good thing in my book. I think this is a very interesting thing. An interesting little quote here. I don't have anything against Ted Cruz. I don't hate him. I don't like him. I mean, he's just another senator. I respect him, because he's said some things that I've respected. Whatever. I won't get into politics or anything, but they mentioned here varying levels of crypto education have also been a challenge. While some lawmakers are crypto savvy, others, such as Ted Cruz from Texas, claimed on multiple occasions could not explain what in the hell a cryptocurrency is. Not easy, right? You could ask anybody, what is Bitcoin, and their view of it would be fairly basic, right? I was at a family gathering a couple years back, and someone mentioned that I had a YouTube channel and talked about Bitcoin. And somebody at the table said, "What is Bitcoin?" And someone else, one of my aunts, said, "It's internet money." And I thought that was a really good, you know, two-word synopsis of what Bitcoin is. It pretty much is, right? It's money. We all believe it is, right? It's a better form of money, an evolution of money, and it's based on the internet, right? It's internet money, even more so than PayPal, right? Cool. All right, and then Blockstream and Block Inc. are going to build a solar Bitcoin mining facility powered by Tesla technology. So Block, if you are not aware, is the company that, oh God, now I can't think of his name. Jack Dorsey founded. He founded Twitter. Of course, he's not on the board on Twitter anymore. He's not CEO of Twitter. He's probably still on the board, but he had a company. It was called Square for a while. They do the Cash app, which you can manage Bitcoin with. But now they're called Block Inc., and they're going to get in to building a solar-powered Bitcoin mining farm, which is interesting. Now, not everybody thinks this is a great idea. There are some naysayers, of course. We all hear that solar is great, and when you think, oh, solar-powered, it doesn't use any oil or coal, or it takes it directly from the sun, right? But you have to remember that in order to create a solar panel, it requires a certain footprint, right? A carbon footprint. So the materials have to be sourced. You've got logistics and supply chains to manufacture solar panels. So just if solar panels just appeared in a vacuum, that'd be great. But they don't, right? They require, they have to be made, right? And some of there are harmful chemicals. The environmental friendliness doesn't account for variables as the production of brutally harmful chemicals during the manufacturing of solar panels, right? So not everybody thinks that it's a great idea to do a Bitcoin solar-powered mining farm. But there are other ways that Bitcoin is proving itself to be more than, there was this thing going around a couple years back that Bitcoin used up as much electricity as a small country, and they made a big deal about how it's not green, it's horrible for the environment, but they never really pointed out that the banking system had a much bigger carbon footprint, the existing monetary system. So it's easy to throw stones. But we talked about Exxon that was burning off natural gas, and there's a small company that was, going over there with mobile Bitcoin mining equipment and, using that gas to power their Bitcoin mining. So this mobile mining rig kind of thing. So that was a plus for the environment. And there's solar powered, I'm sorry, there's geothermal powered Bitcoin mining farms they're talking about doing in El Salvador. I believe over in China there were a lot of miners using hydro power, water from dams and that, and I'm sure there are places in the world that are also using that technology besides just, electricity off the grid, right? Anyway, but an interesting story, right? And let's see. This is kind of just a general crypto story, right? A censorship-resistant inflation index is being built on Chainlink, right? It's a small company, and basically what they're saying is there are a lot of data streams, and as you know, Chainlink is and what they call an oracle. It can be a link between real world data and blockchains. So Oracle can feed all of this real time, real world information into a blockchain. And Trueflation is saying that the way that the government calculates the CPI is archaic, right? It's very old. And of course, it's manipulated by, the Fed and the legislature, the Congress, and they keep changing this basket of commodities that make up the CPI. If you weren't aware, when they talk about inflation, they don't include fuel and food because that's too volatile, right? It's just dumb the way they do it. And but even now, they're admitting that inflation is like between 6 and 7%, and that's according to the CPI, right? Measured by the same standards it was measured in the 1980s when Jimmy Carter was president. Our inflation would be, I believe, around 16%, if I'm not mistaken. So Trueflation is going to not only improve the data set, right? They're going to be taking the CPI is measured in the form of a survey that collects 94,000 prices per month for commodities and service. It's a black box. We don't know anything. Where are they talking about? Okay. I lost it. They're using currently anyway, they use real pricing information that are being fed to them directly. It's a much more modern way of gathering the data than the way the Bureau of Labor and Statistics does it, right? So not only is it better, but it's sort of kind of set in stone. It can't be manipulated by interested parties, right? And their measurement is 13.2% inflation rate as opposed to 7.9, right? The real government data on inflation is almost 8%. That's pretty, and that's what the government is admitting, right? I think truly, if you account food and fuel, we're looking at like at least 20% inflation. I could be wrong, right? And then the last little story here is just pretty interesting. 60 Minutes is going to do a feature on El Salvador's Bitcoin Beach, which is going to air Sunday. That's tomorrow. Pretty big news magazine show has been running since 1968. A lot of people watch 60 Minutes. When I was a kid, we watched 60 Minutes every Sunday night. So there are a lot of like normal people that watch 60 Minutes. So it'll give Bitcoin a lot of exposure. And this gentleman that founded this little area, which they call Bitcoin Beach, is pre El Salvador's legalization of Bitcoin. Right? It's been around longer than it's been a few years now, and you can go there and I think use Bitcoin to buy anything. Right? I like this little pay with Bitcoin, get 50% discount Saturday and Sunday. Right? You can buy some beer with Bitcoin, right? You can buy anything, right? So anyway, they sent one of their reps over there to talk to him, dressed in white, right? Hey, it's tropical, right? You can wear white. So anyway, that's the news. Let me jump in and see what people are doing. Daniel, JDO, and I talked quite a bit about recovering from a 24-word recovery phrase, which he said when he was doing his restore. And this was on a mirror device, right? He wasn't doing like a restore from like having a device lost or damaged, right? He was just creating a mirror and realized there was an issue with his recovery phrase. And it was the 10th word. And so I said, well, it might be that you wrote it down wrong or you read it wrong, and you wrote it down correctly, but you read it wrong from the device. Maybe we can figure out what it is if we look at the actual list of words. There is a immutable list of words for Bitcoin backup phrases from the BIP 39 protocol, Bitcoin Improvement Protocol. These are the 2048 words that are used in recovery phrases for all kinds of different crypto wallets, right? So, so a lot of people think, oh, maybe it's a real word misspelled, or maybe it's, it could be any word, but it's not, right? They're all taken from a list of 2048. So if you write your word down wrong accidentally, or you read it off the device wrong, and then you go to do the restore, you might run into an issue where the word that you wrote down is not in the list, and you're wondering what happened. So in JDO's case, he said that he had crossed out word 10 in one record, and then there were and filled up 25. So I'm not sure, maybe why that was, but then on the original ledger card, word number 10 was intact. And he had left off that 25th word. So, but anyway, thank God that he straightened it out. But he did what I would have done. And people ask me this all the time. They'll say, well, what happens if my ledger device is compromised, right? What if I accidentally give out the 24-word recovery phrase to somebody? And now what do I do? Or your 24-word recovery phrase is lost or something like that, right? What do you do? Well, as long as you currently have access to the device, right? You still have the pin works fine, you can get into the device. Well, now it's time to move that crypto somewhere else, right? And that's exactly what JDO did. He moved all his crypto to that secondary device. He just set it up as new and then transferred all his crypto. All right, so we're getting a little into the niceties of cryptocurrency management and backup management. Some of you might be wondering what the heck I'm talking about. So let me get caught up with some of the questions, and we're going to do a few basic things to get going here. And you might wonder, what the heck is this guy? What is this live stream all about? And it's basically about how to manage your crypto, right? Very important if you're going to self-custody crypto. Any suggestion on which window cleaner apps are cost effective? My 8-month-old Windows 11 PC is slowing down. I'm not a huge believer in cleaning apps. I used to use CC Cleaner back in the early days. I used Norton Disk Defragmenter, Norton Utilities, which had a disk defragmenter, and I used to sit there for hours and watch Norton defrag my hard disk. And I felt like over time I thought that it could cause more harm than help, because it could possibly corrupt the hard disk while it was doing it's defragging because you're watching it move all your data all over the place. So I don't use cleaners anymore. What I do is I have, first of all, I have 2 drives on my computer. And let me see if I can show you here. Actually, I have a lot of drives, but I have 2 main internal drives on this. Actually, I have the external drives disconnected right now. So both of these are 2 terabyte M2 drives. All right. This drive, which becomes drive C, is where Windows is and all the programs, right? This drive is where all the data lives. So if you look at documents, all of these documents are on secondary drive or 280G. So if we look at, I think we can do it here. Let's look at documents, properties. Right. So if you see, it's located on the D drive, right? And the location is D documents. And the same with music, right? If you look at my music, the location is D music. So all of these, the data files are on my secondary drive. So what I do is I wipe C clean. I reformat it, right? I usually will disconnect the D drive too. I'll take it out. And then I will install Windows clean from scratch on my C drive. And then as soon as I'm done installing Windows, it's clean, fresh. I'll go into the documents, downloads, music, pictures, and redirect them over to my D drive. You know, I put the D drive back in, right? So that's how I do my cleaning. I wipe my disk clean, reinstall Windows from scratch, but I do have to reinstall all of my programs. And it's a little tricky because, you know, I got a lot of crypto wallets and stuff. So sometimes I have to reinstall the wallet from scratch for some of the, you know, the esoteric crypto wallets like the pirate wallet. You know, usually I'll restore from seed phrase, or, you know, or I'll attach it to the ledger or whatever it has to be done. But that's how I clean. I wipe my disk completely off and reinstall Windows from scratch, and then, you know, reconnect D drive or put it into the, you know, it's in the motherboard now. There's a slot, an M2 slot on the motherboard. So, but I leave it off while I'm installing Windows clean because I don't want Windows to see the other drive. Windows does all kinds of weird stuff during its install. And if you have a secondary drive during Windows install, sometimes it puts like boot data over there and does weird stuff. And like Windows won't boot unless D drive is there. So like I'm real like meticulous about the way I install Windows. Just don't call me later for dinner. Okay. Okay, can't update newer Ledger firmware for my desktop, and because Ledger firmware starts this, what do you do? Okay, so there is, let's jump in to Ledger Live real quick, and just kind of, I'll go ahead and launch it. But the Ledger, the way Ledger works, they have Ledger Live, which is the software side. And then you have your device, right? You have your Ledger device. So the device also has software. So just in the same sense that you keep your software on your computer up to date, you have to keep the firmware on the device up to date. The firmware on the device is kind of a cross between hardware and software, which gives the device its overall functionality. So when they make improvements on the interface and all this other stuff, they need to update the, you know, the guts of this device, and you do that in the manager. And if you have an older device and you've left it in the drawer for too long, and then you go to update your firmware, sometimes it can't, depending on how far behind your device is with firmware updates. There was a cutoff point. I can't remember what it was, but there used to be, like, if you were below a certain firmware version, then you had to do like the version 2 update first, and then you could upgrade to version 3. I'm just throwing out numbers there. But there was that cutoff point where, well, you can't update it to the latest firmware, but you can update it to the almost latest firmware, and then from there you will be able to update it to the latest firmware, right? But if you're like too far behind, you can't. You're dead in the water. Your only alternative is to, and you can't even restore. You can't even factory reset and restore the device, right? Because it's too far behind on the firmware. So you're gonna have to go buy yourself a new device and reinstall using your recovery phrase, your 24-word recovery phrase. Another example of how important that 24-word recovery phrase is, right? All right. So yeah, that's what you do. If you can't update the firmware, you have no choice but to get a new device. I mean, there are workarounds. I mean, if you're like desperate, you can import that 24-word recovery phrase into other wallets, maybe like free wallets, like Trust Wallet. You could maybe try Electrum Bitcoin wallet might allow you to pull some, at least the Bitcoin. But, you know, ideally, just bite the bullet and spend, you know, I believe the most expensive ledger out there is the Ledger Nano X, and it's like $160, right? It's nothing to sneeze at, but by the same token, if you've got 20 grand worth of crypto on your device and you can't update the firmware, then, you know, maybe $150 is worth it, right? So that's kind of the way I think about it. I don't think of, I've been in crypto so long, I've watched the volatility of the crypto market will redefine the way you think about money, right? You've got a crypto portfolio that's worth 50,000 one day, and then you wake up the next morning and it's just been devastated by a pullback, and your $50,000 worth of value is now, you know, 23,000. And you get a couple of those, it's like, you know, a knife to the neck. But, you know, but then there are other days where your $50,000 portfolio, you wake up the next morning, and it's like 69,000 or 72,000. You know, it's up 20 grand in one day. So having been battered back and forth, good and bad, by the crypto portfolio, you know, due to the market conditions, and I have fairly risky cryptos. I have Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I buy a lot of the new stuff and whatever. To me, it's like, okay, I got to spend $150 and buy a new device. Okay. I watched my portfolio go down 20 grand yesterday, so, you know, it's 150, you know, really mean that much in the scheme of things, you know. And I get a lot of people that are always concerned about the, you know, the fees. Oh my God, the fees. Yeah, don't worry about the fees so much. Like, oh my God, I had to buy this crypto, and then it cost me, you know, it was $50 worth of crypto, and it cost me $15 in fees to move it to my wallet. And oh my God. And, you know, what if that $50 worth of crypto turns into $300 worth of crypto, you know, or $1,000 worth of crypto? And what are you worrying about $15, you know? Anyway, it's just my thing. Let me see if I can get caught up here. Is it bad to DCA into a cold storage wallet? I'm not sure what you mean by DCA. I heard from someone that carrying too much transactions to a cold wallet is bad. An example being a Bitcoin miner with 100 of small. I have heard that before. It didn't make sense to me, but I have heard people say that you should not, you know, connect a mining pool to a hardware wallet. I don't know why, but they say it does something because there's too many transactions. I don't know if that's superstition, right? But it depends, you know, on your situation. If it's a Bitcoin miner, you know, you can set it up to as a, you know, to your to send the mining rewards to your desktop based Bitcoin wallet, and then periodically, like every few months or so, you know, you can transfer it the balance into your hardware wallet, right? But I don't know. I've heard that too, but I've never seen any convincing evidence that why that is. But I've heard that too. Crypto will far outperform stocks and many alts. Okay, that's Dan. Ron Owens, Rex has videos on that. What did Ron ask? When I transfer coins from Nano S to Ledger Nano X, do I just send them from the Nano S to the Nano X address? And are they differently? Yeah, they're different. Actually, I was going to do one of those. So let's do that, right? So before I buy some crypto over on a exchange, let's go ahead and let's look at... I don't have the Bitcoin. All right, so let's find it, right? Here's my Ledger Nano S. The question was, should I move it from the X to the S? We can go either way. Let's just go ahead and connect. Is this the right one? Yeah. Let's connect the Ledger Nano S and set up a Bitcoin account on it real quick, right? So... many people ask me, can you manage multiple devices in one copy of Ledger Live? And the answer is yes. Right? This Ethereum account is based on this Ledger Nano S, but I don't have the Bitcoin account in Ledger Live at the moment for this guy. So I've connected my Ledger Nano S. Oh dear. All right, give me a second. lines crossed, tangled. My camera, my secondary camera, right? Let's go ahead and turn this guy on, see what happens, if anything. Oh, good. It worked, sort of. All right, let's get this in here. Let's focus. Okay, that's good. Right, here's my Ledger Nano S, right? Let's go ahead and enter the PIN. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. All right. So, okay. You can sort of see it here. Now, as you can see, this one only has 2 apps on it, Monero and Ethereum, right? And this was, for me, this was the biggest drawback to the Ledger Nano S, was that it, and let's go into Manager here, was that it could only hold a certain number of apps until it was full. Let's hit Allow Ledger Manager here. We'll hit both buttons. The buttons are on the top here. We'll do that. And let's see. I don't know if it has it needs a firmware update or anything. Let me move this slightly here. So no, it does not need a firmware update. It's up to date on its firmware. Looks like all the apps are up to date. Well, there's only 2 of them, right? Ethereum and Monero, right? But I would like to go ahead and put in Bitcoin on there, but I can't. It's full. So we're going to have to take one off, right? And I'm not deleting my, well, I am. I'm deleting my Ethereum wallet, but it can easily be recreated by simply reinstalling the Ethereum app. It'll recreate the exact same wallet that you had on there before, right? So you can add and remove apps on a Ledger Nano X or S, doesn't matter. but the Ledger Nano X has much more space, right? But this is just to illustrate the fact that we can create an account for Bitcoin. It's installing the app, right? Now, what it's doing, it's reinstalling the Bitcoin app. There are a bunch of old Bitcoin wallets on this device. We're just going to go ahead and add, well, let's see, there might be one that has a little dust in it, right? We'll use that instead of creating a new one. Okay, see there. So now you can see it, right? We've got Monero and Bitcoin on this guy, right? Now let's go over to accounts and say add account and choose Bitcoin and say continue. So it wants me to open the Bitcoin app, so I'll do that. I think I just hit both buttons for that too, all right? Now it's scanning the device for any existing wallets, and if it doesn't find an existing wallet, it will create an empty one for me. But there are quite a few old Bitcoin wallets on this device. So it might be a couple of minutes. Indulge me, right? Might take a minute. My arm's getting tired. So over time, I would create and use Bitcoin wallets, but I'm just kind of overly meticulous with my Bitcoin wallets, and once there have been too many transactions, I tend to sort of start new ones. We've talked a lot about the security of the way Bitcoin wallets work, and for me, a wallet that has only received Bitcoin is more secure than a wallet that has sent Bitcoin out. It's because the public key has been exposed. That's probably overkill, but that's why I always create like new wallets. All right, so we have an old SegWit account. I think I'll go ahead. It's not quite done yet. That's legacy. As you can see, these are like really, really small balances. That's probably the oldest one there. Yeah, I don't see, I thought there was one that had like, I don't know, $5 worth of Bitcoin in there. But I don't want to use one of these older. Let's use a native SegWit. Okay, it's done. All right, so now we'll just deselect it. Let's go ahead and we'll create a new one, right? And because this device is attached, this account is based on this device, right? So let's write a meaningful name for the account. We'll call this one Ledger S. Now, the reason I haven't done that on all my other accounts is because most of all the other accounts are based on my go-to Ledger Nano X. So it'd kind of be redundant to put Bitcoin Ledger X, Stellar Ledger X, Algorand Ledger X, right? Because I know they're the Ledger X. But the older ones, or I mean the ones based on this old device, we'll go ahead and mark. Now, I don't need this device attached at the moment. Well, just for grins, let's do it. Let's do a receive and let it go ahead and do the check, right? So it should show us the address on the device. Or will it? It should. Oh, verify. Okay, there we go. So notice how the screen is too small to show the entire address. So we have to go scroll through all the screens until we get to approve and then hit both buttons. But before I do that, I'm going to copy this into my clipboard. All right. All right. We're done with that, right? I can even disconnect this thing right now because my arm is tired. All right. In fact, because we're going to be using the other device, it's probably a good idea to disconnect, right? Now, if I can find my X, we're going to move some of the Bitcoin that's on my Ledger Nano X onto the Ledger Nano X, but it's not on the Ledger Nano S. It's just the wallet controlled by the Ledger Nano S. In reality, we're just moving Bitcoin from one point on the blockchain to another, right? So let's go over to, I don't know, let's do this one, right? We've got this little account here with just a little bit of Bitcoin in it, right? Let's go ahead and do a send. Now we're going to need to have this guy attached, of course, because now we're sending Bitcoin out from an account associated with this device. So this device has to authorize the outgoing transaction. All right. So let's show you here. So we're on the home screen of now the Ledger Nano X, right? And we're going to send some, okay, where are we going to send it? Well, we'll paste in the Bitcoin address of my Ledger Nano S wallet, right? The one we just created. So we'll hit continue. We'll go ahead and send the max, which isn't a lot. It's going to cost me 5 sats, which is about 28 cents. I'm okay with that. Now, when I hit continue, it should say, oh, you need to open the Bitcoin app, right? So let's just hit both buttons to do that. Now we're going to authorize the Bitcoin wallet to send crypto out by signing the transaction. The private key lives on the device. The private key is what's responsible for signing outgoing transactions. We just know it as clicking buttons, right? But there's a lot of complicated math going on under the hood. That second transaction was for the Bitcoin fees on the Bitcoin blockchain, right? Blockchain fees. That's how this system works. All right, I can turn that off. I can rest my arm for a minute. We'll say view details. The Bitcoin should go out, right? This one should be empty now. And if we go back to accounts, we should see some Bitcoin come in here shortly, right? There we go. So let's just put it this way, right? There was Bitcoin on my Ledger Nano X, and I wanted to move it from Ledger Nano X to Ledger Nano S, right? But as I mentioned, we're not moving any Bitcoin between. The device does not hold Bitcoin. The device only holds the private key, which gives you access to a Bitcoin address out there on the blockchain, right? So what we really did was we just moved some Bitcoin from one Bitcoin address on the blockchain to another Bitcoin address on the blockchain. But it makes it easier when you think about it to say, okay, so I moved Bitcoin from one device to another, right? That way, and that's what JDO did, right? He had a whole bunch of different cryptos, or maybe just a couple, I don't know. I don't know his whole portfolio. I would assume is more than one, but he just took everything that was associated with one device, created a new device, initialized it, set up accounts in Ledger Live, and moved crypto into the new accounts, right? So we can move crypto back and forth between accounts within Ledger Live, and also some of those accounts might be associated with other different devices, right? As I mentioned, we've got this Ledger Nano S has a little wallet in it with about $144 worth of Ethereum. Call me, delete the Ethereum app. Did I lose this crypto? No. Do I need to start a new account? When I set up the Ledger, when I reinstall the Ethereum app on the Ledger Nano S? No, right? As soon as I reinstall the Ethereum app, I can reconnect to this account, and well, let's do it, right? Oh, okay, something's going on here. Oh, I got the wrong device. I don't want to do it. Too much trouble. Let me catch up with chat. Yeah, I'd have to disconnect this one and re-enter the pin and enter the new one. Okay, American legend. Bold as that may be, BTC is the first in line for government takeover. I don't care how widely accepted it is. People will use it if that's all good and well, but it's always going to be risky. Okay, fair statement. I could say the same thing about the U.S. dollar, right? I don't care how widely accepted it is or how it's backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. It's risky, right? The Fed has been pumping money into the system over the last 2 years, creating dollars out of thin air. Inflation is a clear evidence of that, right? They want to blame it on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. That's malarkey. It's because they've been creating money out of thin air for all the COVID relief for the last 2 years is why we have inflation, right? So in my view, the dollar, it will always be risky, right? So yeah, you could say the same thing about Bitcoin. I don't believe that. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility for them to make it more difficult for us to use Bitcoin, cut off our on ramps and off ramps. Andreas Antonopoulos has talked about this, and that scenario where governments go full bore against Bitcoin and crypto. And because it's decentralized, it will survive, right? It's built on the same premise as the internet, which was built by one of the four founders of the internet was the DARPA net. And it was built with the intent that it was a multi-node network that could survive a nuclear attack, because each node was attached to all the other nodes, so that if New York and Washington were taken out, all of the rest of the nodes could still communicate. Right? That's what the founding principle of the internet. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are sort of based on that same decentralized concept, where in order to destroy the entire system, you would have to chase down every single node. As long as there are two Bitcoin nodes running, two people can send Bitcoin back and forth to each other. Right. So there has historically always been an interplay between centralization and decentralization. If you remember, the United States was founded on decentralized principles, right? We were founded as 13 colonies that were in cooperation with each other, but fairly independent. Before the Civil War, there wasn't much to the federal government besides the Postal Service. They didn't have much of a standing army. They didn't have a lot of control in people's lives. For better or for worse, after the Civil War, the centralized United States government became more powerful. And as time moves forward, people in the U.S. are less and less decentralized and independent. Back in the day, right, when everyone was a farmer, we grew enough to feed ourselves and trade with others. We were mostly self-sufficient, right? And now things are more centralized. People rely more on supply chains and big, conglomerate companies like Amazon and Apple and Google to get their information. So we're seeing kind of the pendulum swinging towards centralized, and Bitcoin is kind of a answer to that, right? A decentralized way for people to exchange value with each other that's not connected to the central banking system. right? And we're seeing that with like decentralized movements, people becoming more independent, more, preppers who are learning to live independently, and communities that are trying to stay, when you buy local, support your local uh, businesses, support local farmers, that sort of thing. That's more of a decentralized type of movement. And Bitcoin kind of fits in with that, right? There are a lot of facets to Bitcoin. It's also, people are hoping that it will be adopted by big institutions, so the price will go up, and that makes it a little more centralized. But anyway. Yeah, so there are a lot of people that say don't buy Bitcoin, buy gold. Don't buy Bitcoin, buy silver. Don't buy Bitcoin, buy toothpaste and toilet paper, right? Or seeds, so you can grow your own food. So there are lots of things that have value in this world, right? But one of the big arguments I hear against Bitcoin, and they'll say stuff like, well, Bitcoin relies on the internet, right? So if, unplug the internet, and where's Bitcoin, right? Well, that's kind of a bold statement, right? To say, that if the internet goes down, if the internet is fundamentally destroyed, we're going to have a lot more to worry about than whether our Bitcoin works or not, right? I don't think really much of anything will work with the internet down, right? You won't be able to get into your bank account online. You won't be able to order your Amazon if the internet's down. I mean, we'll have total chaos, right? But some people would argue that gold would serve you better if the internet were down, right? I don't know, right? It might be better to have, invest in spam as opposed to gold, right? If the internet goes down and the power grid goes down and the financial system collapses, you might be better off with spam than gold, right? If all you've got is gold, you're going to have to venture out into that world where, the guys with the big cars and the spikes on the wheels and the swinging those hammers, like they did in Mad Max, right? And you're gonna have to go to those guys with gold and go, dude, can I buy some of your supplies with my gold? And they'll just, yeah, sure, dude, come on in, we'll take care of you. It's the last we hear of you, right? So, but if you're holed up in your house with your spam, you might be better off. Anyway, guys, let's jump into some of the stuff. I did my back and forth transfers. Let's do what most people would do if they wanted to get into Bitcoin from the start. Let's just buy some Bitcoin. Dan told me about this on Binance U. I wanted to do Binance US. I don't do Binance US that often. I usually will do Coinbase. But I feel like maybe I should show. I've done some Kraken. Kraken's a pretty good place. The only thing I had against Bitcoin, Binance US, was that I couldn't make immediate purchases and withdrawals. But I think you can do that now. But anyway, they've changed their terms of service. You have to agree to allow BAM, which is it's a third-party service provider that allows you to connect to your bank account through another thing called Prime Trust. Actually, BAM, I believe BAM is the company that owns Binance US. Because in order to get licensed in the US, Binance US had to be completely separate from regular Binance, right? Binance.com, which is a Chinese company, sort of, but it's not based in China anymore. I don't think it has any, I think it's all virtual, right? But it might be licensed out of Malta or whatever. But Binance US is a US-based cryptocurrency exchange owned by this company called BAM, and they are making us like agree to all this stuff to let them use our biometric data, which basically just means our face, our selfies, our face, right? Anyway, Dan and I talked about this. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, let them. It's not very crypto pure to allow these huge companies to have my data, but I mean, my data's already out there, so I'm not, one more, faceless corporation has my data, whatever. All right, so let's put in our two-factor and see if that works. Ah! All right, let's try again. I had a feeling it wasn't going to work. I don't know why. All right, am I looking at this right? Okay, Binance US. Okay, I'm looking right at it. Okay. All right. Oh, come on. Oh, no, no, no. I got to go through all this again? Oh, no. Human machine identification authentication is required. Please refresh the... I don't know what that means. All right, well, maybe this isn't going to work. I guess we'll just go back to Coinbase if I can't get into Binance US. But that's distressing because I have some money in there. Ah! What does it want me to do? Okay. Okay, let's try this whole thing again. Ugh. This is upsetting. Okay. Let me let it refresh one. Okay. 815765. I am on Binance US. Oh, okay. Wow, that was weird. I didn't know what that thing meant. Okay, I'm logging in from a new device, so they think, which I'm not. 414. Okay, we made it. I was coming in and out. Yeah. I think part of it was that new privacy policy or whatever, but I generally have no issues at all with Binance US getting in and out of it. I've never probably. But as I mentioned last week, call me paranoid, but ever since the Russian-Ukraine thing, it seems like all the computer security has tightened up all over the world. And so I don't know if they did some sort of if it was sort of a company-wide thing or a US-wide thing or whatever, but like almost everything that I used to log into with no problems has suddenly been acting like I'm logging in for the first time. It's like even the payroll system that I use that's online, it's nothing to do with crypto. I log into it and it says, ooh, you're logging in from a new device, and they send me like my two-factor. What? I don't know. I'm not saying it's the Russians doing it. I'm just saying that maybe because of the cyber security issues that the precautions, they've sort of tightened up almost everything. So okay. Hopefully it'll be okay. All right, let's go to wallet. Let's make sure everything's still there. Okay. All right. All right. So we still got some stuff here. Oh my God, Harmony 1. Ugh. What can you say? All right. So let's see. We got about $50 worth of BNB. What I wanted to do was just buy some Bitcoin. Let's see if that works. Right? They're going to make me do this whole thing. Let's do a one-time purchase. Oh, I actually have some US dollar balance, right? But I wanted to do it from my bank instead, just to see if it works. Let's just do 50. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. All right. And is it going to let me do that? Now, let's see if it actually worked or not. Let's go to the wallet and see if we bought the Bitcoin or not, right? Let's do a refresh. Yeah, we did, right? It went through, but I got an error message. All right. So yeah, I didn't. I probably had like a little bit of Bitcoin in there, $6. Now let's try to withdraw it. We did have to jump through some hoops, didn't we? Let's put it into Bitcoin main, right? Let's go ahead and do a receive here and just let it give me an address. Ledger Live can just give you an address without you having to connect the device. It's more secure to have the device connected, but it's reasonably secure to let Ledger Live generate the Bitcoin address for you, right? And there it is. Let's go back. Let's go over here to the Bitcoin wallet. Let's do withdraw. Now, back in the day, they wouldn't let you withdraw right away, right? We're going to do it on the Bitcoin network. Let's paste in our Bitcoin address there. Let's do our preview. Whoa! They're charging me $21 to withdraw $50 worth of Bitcoin? Ouch! That's dumb. That is really weird. Why would they do that? That is just, I mean, I don't care about fees in general, but that's highway robbery. That's stupid. Bitcoin blockchain fees are nowhere near that. I don't know why they would want to charge me $21 to withdraw that amount of Bitcoin. Wow. Yeah. Sheesh. Now, we could. Let's see what happens here. Let's trade. Let's do Tether, right? Let's trade our Bitcoin for Tether. All right, so we're buying Tether. Let's do a market. Ugh. Let's do. Oh no, we don't want to buy BTC. We want to sell BTC for Tether because we had some Tether already. Not much, but we had some. Ah, and I did a limit. Because I had to redo it. Doggone it. Ugh. All right. All right, let's go here. Let's see if we can intercept this order. Open orders. Orders. Okay, here we go. Let's cancel. All right, let's try this again. All right. Oops. We're going to trade for Tether. And you're probably wondering, what the hell am I doing? I'm trying to get my $50 Tether. We had about $10 worth of Tether. Let's buy Sol. We'll buy Sol with our Tether. All right, we have $62 worth of Tether. All right, and then Ledger supports Sol, right? So we got some Sol here. Let's put it in, it doesn't matter. Let's just put it in this wallet. Let's do our receive. Let's get our address. We don't need to let the device. Okay, there's the address. Now, let's go back to the wallet. Did we get Sol already or no? Yeah, we got it. All right, so there's our Sol. Let's withdraw it to where? The wallet address I just got. Let's max it out. Okay, look, they're only going to charge me $1 to withdraw $61 worth of Sol, right? I can handle that. I don't understand why they were charging me an arm and a leg. All right, they're going to send me an email. Okay, see there, now is 0 available and 62 on order, right? Pending, right? So we'll just keep an eye on that, and it should show up in my wallet. My Sol. Why in God's name did they want to charge me $20 to withdraw $50 worth of Bitcoin? That's unbelievable. And then for Sol, for the same, pretty much the same amount of Sol, they only charged me $1. I don't know. Well, Bitcoin, I mean, I could understand if it was Ethereum. I know Ethereum fees, withdrawal fees were ridiculous because the Ethereum fees were high. And so, like, all the exchanges pass on that expense to the end user. But Bitcoin? I don't know. Okay. Binance charges. Yeah, phishing schemes. Well, phishing schemes have always been around. They've just evolved over time, right? And it's just like, when we were talking about that Senate report on cryptocurrency and how they talked about how, Bitcoin is used in ransomware and whatever. Well, it's good old fashioned kidnapping used US dollars, right? They kidnap someone and say, drop a bag of money in the garbage can on 5th and Broadway and, you'll get your loved one back, It's, but no one said, oh, money must be bad because kidnappers use it for ransom payments, It's like, well, what if the kidnapper demanded pesos, right? Would they go, oh, pesos must be evil because the kidnappers want pesos, Just because people use Bitcoin in ransomware, ransomware attacks also would accept cash, right? Ransomware that locks up your computer. Well, I don't know. I think they did do Bitcoin, but maybe because they thought it was untraceable back in those days, but it's not, right? It can. The FBI was able to track down one of these guys, but they were just dumb, and it was probably a setup anyway. Yeah, but just because it's a medium of exchange, it doesn't make it bad just because doesn't make the medium bad because bad people, want Bitcoin, right? But it did sort of shield them to a certain extent, right? Make it easier. That's why people use cash in flea markets and stuff, so they don't have to pay taxes on their purchases and whatever. Anyway, I think we got it, right? Did we get it? Let's take a look here. Pending. Okay, still pending. Successful. Okay. So let's take a look here. Let's refresh. We should see some come in here. We got the Ledger Live is acting up. When Ledger Live acts up for me, I just quit and start over because sometimes it just gets gummed up. I can't get it to, give me the current price or the current transaction. Let's just go ahead and log back in, see what. All right, let's go here. So we should see that Sol. There it is, right? $61 worth of Sol. So where there's a will, there's a way. JDO's kidnappers demanded seashells. Those evil seashells. Phishing attacks were done by phone and even regular snail mail. Yes, that's true. When that subject was brought up, I remember that my grandfather was always like, he would get these things in the mail that said, you just want a boat, but you had to jump through all these hoops to get the boat. You had to pay like the processing fee or whatever, but he was always like talking about that stuff, and I was in my 20s and I was like, that's such a scam, man. What are you doing? They'd send you something in the mail and say, you can buy this land really cheap, but you had to go out there for this party where they would, bait and switch you, and high pressure sales you, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, these kind of scams have been around for a while, right? Mail and phone, right? But there's a lot of phone ones now, even. And they mostly target the elderly because they're the only people that are picking up their phones anymore if they don't know who the number is. But, I had a friend of mine who was elderly, and she, I helped her husband with tech support and stuff. And she said, I got a call from the IRS and they say they're going to put me in jail. And she was upset. And I said, that's a scam. That's not the IRS. The IRS never threatens to put you in jail. They don't have to, right? They just threaten to. The IRS will if at the first of all, the IRS won't call you. They'll send you a letter, and even if it's a letter, they're gonna threaten you to be. The worst case scenario is you get audited, right? They're never just gonna outright threaten to put you into jail for not paying right away over the phone. Especially when your taxes are paid. Anyway, do you have any recommendations aside from staking it using ETH network? I only have a few Matics. So we were going to do some harvesting tonight. So why don't we jump into that? I'm going to just close Ledger Live. Kind of irritated with Ledger Live. Let's go over to... I'm going to use my Chrome browser. It's my go-to browser for my MetaMask and my YouTube. Works better. Can someone tell me if the Ledger update bar is supposed to be orange? Mine was orange. I clicked on it without thinking. I haven't downloaded yet. It says it's from Ledger, SAS. I wouldn't, if you're in Ledger Live, I wouldn't worry too much about the color of the bar. I believe it is orange now. Because it fits with their, and I can't show it to you because I don't need an update, right? I've recently updated. But if you go to Ledger's website, I think we pulled it up here. That's their color theme now is black, white, and orange. So I believe mine was purple, right? 'Cause I've got like a purple theme here. But if it shows you at the top and you're in Ledger Live and it tells you to run an update, then you should, right? If you get an email from someone telling you to update Ledger Live, click this link, that's different, right? But when you're in Ledger Live, I wouldn't worry too much that somehow Ledger Live has been taken over. That's pretty far-fetched, right? Mostly what they'll do is email you and pretend to be Ledger. But if you're running Ledger Live and you see an update bar, it's probably correct. Right? If you're like freaking out and you don't know, then you can always quit Ledger Live and go download the latest version of Ledger Live. You can just download it and run it, right? Just download it to your computer and run, drop the installer in your downloads folder, right? And then you can run it, and that'll give you the latest version of Ledger Live, right? Even if you already have Ledger Live installed. But I wouldn't worry too much about whether the up-to-date bar is real or not. It's good to be vigilant, but don't be hyper vigilant. You'll walk around on eggshells. All right, so we were going to go to MetaMask, and the question was about staking Matic. I know that you can. Let me put in my password. Oops. I know that I'm on the Ethereum network now, so let's switch over to Polygon. Oh, and I forgot to mention that when I was telling you about those computer issues that I had earlier in the week, and then I did I reset to a restore point my MetaMask was corrupted, didn't work. I had to reinstall it. And so luckily I had the backup phrase. And most of my crypto is on, protected by Ledger, so I just had to import those devices back in, right? But if you'll notice, like all my names got whacked out. I had to redo everything, right? So, but I did rename this one. But I think this one has some Ledger, some Matic on it. Let's take a look. That's this one, right? I just want to check the address real quick. All right, that's what I call Ledger H, right? So we can rename it. Let's go ahead and put it in the browser tab so it won't keep disappearing. I can rename this guy here. Something that makes more sense to me. I'll just call it Ledger H. Right. But there's some Matic here. Now we can do Matic native staking, and I believe that would be in the Polygon web wallet. I think this is like the main Polygon site. You can do, oh, it must be my internet connection. The Xfinity guys didn't. But then at the end of the day, they texted me again and they said, we were unable to complete upgrade today. We're going to try again some other time. And then the next day or the next day after, they say, we'll be working on your internet again. And they text me in the morning and tell me there could be disruptions. And then at the end of the day, they send me another text that says, we were unable to. I mean, it's been like 4 times at least that they told me they're going to be working on the internet. It's going to be better, that I might get disconnected, which I did a few times. And then they did it again. Where is he? Here. You can see this for your own eyes, man. Your services should be back up and running, blah, 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 blah. Look how many times this has happened. This is from yesterday, right? This has been going on for like a week now. So they already told me they were done today, but whatever, I don't know. I'm just like at my wit's end with this internet company. Anyway, let's see where crypto's at right now. Let's take a quick look. 42.7, okay. The other day I was like, please stay if it can retake 43. Anyway. Oh, Lord in heaven. Wow. Okay. All right. So we don't want to do the Ethereum staking, right? So, but we can, let's go over to a Polygon QuickSwap. We'll connect our wallet using MetaMask. We'll say next, and I think I need to allow this on my device. Oh. All right, let me get into the Ethereum app just to make sure. All right, so I'm going to get into the Ethereum app, make sure. Let's hit connect over here. Okay, yeah, it didn't need, but it would if I were to do anything, right? Now, in QuickSwap, when we have Matic, I don't know if it's here or not. I do, right? I'm staking Quick, which is the native token of QuickSwap, and it's earning interest. So, what, kitty? What's the matter? All right, so I've got 3.3 Quick, which is pretty good because I think I started this. I had 2.6 Quick. Quick is price. What's Quick? Quick is worth at one point. Yeah, Quick's, yeah. So, and it's doing pretty well. So I can natively stake quick. Now, they also have, let's see, the pools. You have to create a liquidity pool. Let's see, they've got Ethereum. They should have, I don't know why they don't have Polygon. It's just weird. Let's see, what else they got here? Farms. Let's see, dual mining. What, kitty? Now, I don't know if this means Polygon. Oh, no, it's ETH. CX ETH, whatever the heck. Here's one. Matic Ethereum. Matic US dollar coin. That might not be bad, right? That's a good way to stake Matic along with a stable coin and earn interest. It's not that sexy, but at 26 is pretty good, right? Here, I think I'm done with this. So we can stake Matic that way on QuickSwap, right? And of course, you need to have your Matic stored in a wallet that's compatible with a DEX. In my case, I use MetaMask, and MetaMask needs to have the Polygon mainnet network configured so that you can manage your Matic. I don't see these quick tokens are being staked, so they're not showing up in the wallet. In fact, we could just add quick. We don't want that one, though. We want the Polygon quick. It's zero balance, right? But we could at least see it in MetaMask, right? So that's one way to stake and earn passive income on the Matic network. I'm not using Matic per se. I'm using the Quick token, but it's on the Polygon network. I could be using Polygon. There are some staking pools where I could be staking this Matic, but I'm not at the moment, right? And what else? Let's see. Let's check PancakeSwap real quick. Let's go over to the Binance Smart Chain. Let's switch over to my go-to account here. There's 5 cake in here. Let's go over to PancakeSwap. And then let's go over here to pools. I've been staking cake in the auto cake pool for quite a while now. I believe I started with 441 and got all the way up to 541, and then I sold some of it, right? But I think it's a good staking pool. You earn cake, right? Which, when the price of cake is down, your earnings go down, right? But in the long run, I think cake is a pretty decent token. This is the weakness of most staking schemes on DeFi, is that you're earning an underlying asset that is volatile, right? You're getting rewarded with a token that the price of it could go down, right? So you could tell yourself, oh, look, I'm making $50 a day staking cake. Take out whatever cake you earned and turn it into stablecoin if you want to lock in your gains. But I tend to just sort of set and forget the cake, because I believe in cake long term. Now let's go to details. And as you notice, there was some cake in the wallet, right? There's 5 cake just laying around here, not doing anything. So we should be able to add some more to that. So let's hit plus and just drop that 5 cake in there that was just sitting in the wallet, right? Confirm that in MetaMask. This wallet isn't connected to a ledger, so I don't need to verify this on my ledger. But there it goes, confirmed. And now there's more cake in the pool, right? So that's one way, right? And these staked get auto, it gets auto re-staked. So all the rewards get put back into the pool. I don't have to go in there and do it manually. That's one of the reasons I like this pool. I believe in Cape. It's a good. All right, so let's see. What else can we harvest today? Let's revisit Anchor protocol. Let's get this gone. And we're using a different wallet here. We're going to be, should I do Kepler? Let's go ahead and let's do this. So we're going to be using the Terra Station wallet extension. This wallet is based on my Ledger device, right? We can delete the wallet and re-add it pretty easy. If I can figure out how to do that. Whoops. Disconnect, right? We should disconnect this, right? I have my Ledger device right here, so I'm not worried. Right? In the case of Terra, we're using the Luna or the Terra app. Right? So I installed the Terra app on my device, and now I'm going to use the Terra Station wallet and access with my Ledger. Right? So it can read the wallet that's on the Ledger device, and there it is. So we're back in business again. Right? I don't have to worry. I can, like, if my computer crashes or like that thing with Windows 11 messed me up last week, didn't affect this at all, right? Because my crypto's safe and sound here. Private keys. The cat's freaking out. Okay, so let's go over to Anchor. Let's check out Anchor. I didn't harvest anything this week, so we should have some pretty decent earnings. Let's go to my page, and so we've got some ANC we can claim, right? So let's go ahead and do that. We'll claim our ANC. 4 ANC. I'm not sure what that's worth. All right, there. I need to confirm this on the ledger, so we'll just go all the way over to sign transaction. We'll hit both buttons. And there it goes. So we just claimed some ANC that we were staking. If you look here, I'm like staking ANC. I just claimed some, so now I can put some more back in there. That was $12 worth. That's not bad. And I believe they gave me the rewards for this liquidity pool too, which is currently at 27.47%. It's not great. It was 63 at one point. Let's go over here to bonded assets, because I do have some bonded Luna, and I can claim rewards on it. $16 worth of UST, which is 1-to-1 value of $1, right? Let's go ahead and claim that. Boy, that's good. So I got about 100 Luna in there. All right, let's go ahead and claim those. We'll confirm in the wallet, and then we'll have to confirm on the device. We'll sign that. And there we go. That's not bad. All right. And that's for having 100 Luna that is bonded, right? I'm not using it. I could be using it as collateral. That's wrong. Oh, I guess it's okay. Right? Price of ETH came down, right? It was over 10 last week because the price of ETH was higher. Now it's lower. Right? But if you'll notice here, I've got some borrowed value, and I used that UST to buy some crypto. I leveraged myself, and I regret it. Right? So that's just a different way of leveraging your crypto. but I will eventually have to pay that UST back in order to unlock my collateral, right? Because I put down 3 Ethereum or bonded ETH as collateral, which is worth close to 10 grand. And as you can see, my percentage is really low. I'm not worried. It's not anywhere near liquidation, right? But I would like to pay this down. My intention was that the crypto that I bought with this borrowed UST was going to skyrocket, but it did not. That's the risk of leveraging yourself. Let's see, what else can we claim? Oh, I'm also staking native Terra over here in Terra Station. This is the same wallet, but I have more functionality in the desktop version. So if we look at the wallet, it's the same wallet. Okay. I don't know why I have 3,000 UST. Maybe something happened while I was sleeping. Who knows? Okay, so whatever. Let's check Anchor Protocol. I just want to make sure that I still have... yeah, I still have 5,000 UST in the Earn program. Now, what I'm doing here is I have UST, which is the stable coin of the Terra network, and I have it deposited here, and it's earning 20% interest. Now, this one is auto. The interest gets put back in automatically, right? So I don't harvest anything on this. The amount grows over time because of the 20% interest, right? And if we look at, let's see, I think we can see it here. No, I'm sorry, earn, pardon me. It's earning about $1,000 a year, which is nothing to sneeze at, right? We can break it down. That's about 2.7 a day, $2.70 a day, $20 a week. It's nothing to sneeze at. So we got lots of ways that we can earn passive income on our crypto if we're willing to take the risk, right? There's risk of hacks and software and bugs and all kinds of risks involved in dealing with cryptocurrency, right? The risk of keeping your money in the bank is that the ATM could be down, right? There aren't very many big risks, but the main risk of keeping your money in the bank is that it's earning nothing. The savings accounts are paying like next to nothing on interest. Your money is losing. You're losing money by keeping it in the savings bank, pretty much, because of inflation, right? First and foremost. If it's a checking account, you might be getting eaten up by fees and that kind of thing, withdrawal fees, ATM fees, that kind of stuff. But you're not getting, your money's not growing in a bank, right? So, a little higher reward, a little more risk, right? All right, and let's see. Let's catch up with chat real quick, because there might be somebody with a burning question. Kitty is having babies. Kitty's in heat is what's wrong. It's a house cat, right? And they told us that we should have him spayed or neutered, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that to my cat. And they said, oh, but he'll be spraying, and I'm like, I looked it up, and it supposedly cats don't spray unless they're like other males around and they're sharing litter boxes and that kind of stuff. And he's here by himself, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that season. Maybe because it's spring, he's like spraying all over the place. It smells horrible, and he's meowing all meow meow. It's like he's very clingy. He's like he wants to be next to you all the time. Got a neurotic cat. Okay. CryptoDad, do you mind to tell whether Bitwarden Password Manager is reliable or not? If possible, can you please tell which one I'm using? I am using 1Password, and I've been using it for many years. It works really well. I couldn't live without it. I believe that it's very secure. It has its drawbacks and it has its quirks, the idiosyncrasies, but for me, it works really well. There is a learning curve, and some sites don't work right with it. So some sites I have to actually, but I still like if I'm trying to log into a site that doesn't work with my password manager, I can open up the password manager and cut and paste the credentials in to the website. But you saw me going into Binance US using my password manager. You were asking me about what? Bitwarden? Password managers in general are, in today's society, I couldn't live without a password manager. You don't want to be using the same password over and over again, right? So if you're going to have like 20, 30, 40, 50 different accounts, how are you going to keep track of all your passwords? You're going to write them down in a little notepad? Well, that's fine. Some people do that, but there are a lot of drawbacks to doing that, and it's kind of inconvenient, right? A good password manager will integrate with your web browser and allow you to cut and paste and, have easy access to all of your credentials when you need it, right? I've never used Bitwarden. I don't know if it's good. I think there's LastPass, Best Password Managers 2022, right? Although I wonder, well, see, this is an ad by 1Password, right? So of course, a 1Password is going to tell you they're the best one. Let's try this one, U.S. Cyber News. But they're an ad also. I always suspect these little survey sites of just being a front for an advertisement for the number one, right? But so we've got 1Password, Dashlane, NordPass, which I've used their VPN, but not their password manager. Keeper, which I've never used. I don't see your Bitwarden, right? Like I said, this might just be an ad by NordPass to make it look like they're the best. I don't know. Dashlane, I've heard of before. This is CNET. Okay, I trust them. It's really hard to migrate over. Like, I've been using the same one for years. Ooh. LastPass, as I mentioned, is a good one. 1Password, always in the top, right? I've been using it for a long time. You have to pay for it, but it's worth it to me. Oh, look, Bitcoin just crossed 43,000. Yay, Bitcoin. All right, Dashlane, right? And Keeper. There's Keeper again. KeePass XC, which is an open source if you're on a budget, right? A little tricky to use, kind of cryptic, but I would imagine that being open source is very secure, right? And Norton Password Manager, I'm not that crazy about Norton. Been around for a while. All right, I wanted to check Kepler. Let's see, we got Kepler over here. And it's going to take us to the Osmosis website. I've got some Osmo to claim. Oh, it's going to do it right here. Okay. So I need to be in the Cosmo app. Okay, where are you? I've lost you. Oh, I must have passed it. Doggone it. Wow. What's going on here? I can't find it. Did it change icons? Have I lost it? This is really weird. Okay. Wow. I must have passed it like 3 times. All right. Sorry about that, guys. You were like, what is he doing? All right, there's the Cosmos app. Let's get in there. This wallet is also, you can connect it with a ledger, right? So everything that, all the operations have to be verified on the ledger, unless I'm just making deposits, right? You don't have to have the ledger attached to make deposits. But sending crypto out or claiming rewards, you need to authorize on the device. All right, so that's native Osmos staking. It's happy. All right, let's go over to Osmosis website. Osmosis is a great place to stake and trade assets on the and last week we were like, hey, what happened to Terra, right? The Terra chain was gone. I figured out how to get it back. Oh, I remember. I went to assets and Terra was here, right? Even though, remember, I think I can, yeah, let's do that. Yes. So we had opened up the wallet and then I was like, what happened to Terra? Where'd Terra go? Because I actually had some value in there. Not a lot, but there was some in there. And I was like, well, how am I going to get it back? I couldn't figure it out. Well, you just go down here to where it says Terra and you say, oh, okay, I want to, let's say I want to withdraw my Terra. Then it pops up and it's like, hey, it's an experimental feature. Do you want to use it? And I'm like, yeah, I want to use it. And then you have to approve it. And lo and behold, it should say available. There should be some Terra in there. Let's do it though. Let's switch it. All right, so there we got it back, and there is some. It's 4.8, right? So now, like if we withdraw, it's still not showing it. Let's try again. Well, it's not showing. Ah, there it is. Boom, 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 boom. Available balance. This would be to deposit Luna from my Luna wallet in Osmosis, or in Kepler, pardon me, in Kepler, into the Osmosis chain, right? The Cosmos chain is where the Kepler wallet runs on the Cosmos chain, right? And so you have all these sub-chains like Secret, Osmosis, Crypto.org, and SIFChain, Kava, and Terra, which is cool. We can like if I want to, there aren't very many places you can sell Terra Luna. So Coinbase sells wrapped Luna, which is not the same thing. It's close. It follows the same price. But if I want to withdraw some Terra Luna and sell it, then I would deposit it over here and convert it in Osmosis to Atom. And then Atom I can drop right into my Coinbase account and then sell Atom. All right, so this is a great tool for cross-chain transfers. Let's go over here to the staking section, and we have access to all of our different chains that are in our Kepler wallet. I do in Cosmos. I am staking in Cosmos, and I've got some rewards that are waiting for me. Now I can do those here, or I can do them right in Kepler, right? If I go to Kepler, you can see I've got the same amount that I can claim right from the wallet, right? Either way, same. Let's do that. So we have to approve this. It's going to cost me 9 cents an Atom. I'm not sure how much I'm making on this deal. Oh, and then we have to confirm on the device. Okay, let's do sign transaction. There we go. So we just claimed some staking rewards. So we've got We can stake tokens natively. Oh, we never did it over in Terra Station, did we? I kept talking about it. Now we got to get out. Let's go back over to Terra. Can't believe I couldn't find. Let's go to Terra. Let's go to stake, and there's some staking rewards for I'm natively staking 10 Luna, which is like $973. Oh. I don't know if there's this withdraw all rewards. Okay, so there's about $1 worth of staking rewards I'm getting from Terra. We could withdraw them in Luna, which I would rather do, right? I'm staking Luna. Why don't I earn some Luna? Let's do that. It needs to confirm in my ledger, right? Because this wallet is connected to my ledger. Cost me 30 cents to get $1. That was worse than Binance US Bitcoin withdrawal fee. All this stuff. Okay, there we go. Wow. Okay. This is weird. Is it going to finally get to the... Am I just going in circles here, or is it gonna... Okay. Woo! Jeez. There's like 20 screens. What sign data? All that to just harvest like $1 worth. But I don't know. You know, if I had like 50 grand in there. So... I got all of these other little tokens, but they should have converted all to Luna, right? It says failed to execute, but I believe it worked. Let's see if we go to history. Should tell me. I don't know what that's all about. Okay, so they swapped my 0.38 UST for a little bit of Luna. So I used, and then they charged me 25 cents. All right, but okay, now I'm going to turn this off. So I think we covered a lot of like different staking and farming methods and like claiming rewards in different areas. I tend to like the Anchor protocol and the Luna platform. Right, if we look at CoinGecko, whoops, let's look at CoinGecko. Luna has been doing quite good lately. It's number 8. They bought a bunch of Bitcoin, up and coming, right? We dealt a little with Solana tonight. Remember, that was very fast and cheap for us to withdraw from Binance US. We didn't do anything with BNB, but we were using the Binance Smart Chain for some stuff, for some earnings and stuff, right? All right, so let me go over here and get caught up. Thank you so much, Dan and Daniel, for keeping the crowd entertained while they're throwing questions out. What is bonding crypto? Bonding crypto, in the sense that I'm doing it over here, is bonding it basically turns it into a promise in a way. I have to be honest with you, I'm not real sure how to explain it in real words. But in order to provide collateral for a loan, it has to be bonded. And then once the asset is bonded, then I can put it on deposit as collateral. Notice I have Ethereum bonded, and I'm providing 3 Ethereum as collateral. Notice here that I have bonded Luna, but 0 of it is being provided as collateral, right? But I can earn on that bonded because I guess it's in some sort of smart contract where they'll pay me to keep it bonded. That's the best I can explain it. Right? It's like kind of putting it on hold. They're willing. I've traded my Luna for bonded Luna, and so they're willing to pay me interest on that because I'm providing liquidity to the system in that form. It's the best I can explain it. Very similar to staking, right? So here I'm bonding 100 Luna, and then over here I'm staking natively 10 Luna, right? This is staking on the Luna network. I'm helping the network run. When I do the bonding, I think I'm helping the Anchor protocol run when I'm bonding. I could be wrong about it. Do I have a bird with that cat making sounds in the background? I'm wondering if it's the bird okay. We don't have a bird, but we have a fish. We have a beta fish, but we have a really big tank, like a 3-gallon tank, and it has a top, and then there's like a little hatch we use to feed it. We keep it closed most of the time. So the cat can't get the fish, but he does get up there and like bat at the glass sometimes. But it's safe. No birds. We have a husky, and the husky puts the cat in his place sometimes, and then sometimes the cat puts the husky in his place. But they tolerate each other, and then they like to play fight. I'm not really sure if it's enjoyable to them or not. Just something they do. Cats in heat, we think. Yeah, we're pretty sure. If they are spending money, don't tell them how much they have in crypto. Thanks, Dan. My partner is technologically challenged, but I will demo my ledger and see if it's too much detail or not. Yeah, that's good. Floppy Spirituufo. I gave my dad a ledger and I gifted him some Bitcoin. He didn't really. He was happy and everything, and it went up in value, but he sort of wanted to see it under his full control. So he opened up a Kraken account and we transferred it there. And I helped him with Kraken, but I think when he saw his Bitcoin on an exchange, it felt more real to him than when it was like in his wallet. So different people like have different takes. So some people, you'll show them like a ledger wallet and you'll have some Bitcoin in there and they'll go, wow, that's really cool. How do you spend that? You know, or is that real money, or can you get it out of there? And just stuff like that. Yeah. So guys, I'm sorry if I missed any burning questions. I know I could see that Dan and JDO were busy responding to people. Worst case scenario, if you ask me a question and I did not answer, please send me an email. I forgot to go through all stuff tonight. I have a lot of links down below in the video. CoinTelegraph Markets Pro, Crypto.com. If you want to sign up, I've got some referral links here. If you want to buy a Ledger or a Ledger Nano S or X or the new Ledger Nano S Plus, I've got a link here for that. Oh, my email. That's what I wanted to get. My email is here. It's thecryptodad@gmail.com. So if you remember, then you can shoot me an email. If you don't remember, just pull up this live stream and scroll down and you'll find my email down there. Did I just do that or not? Yeah, I did. Also, I dropped some content this week. I believe this one is my latest, April 4. Yeah, that was this week. So how to manage MetaMask with a ledger. I try to do my best to explain. I got a little frustrated as I was doing the video because there are so many, a lot of functionality and pitfalls, but I tried to do my best to give like a basic overview of how you set up a MetaMask wallet using a ledger, right? Evelyn, why don't you send it again? I apologize sometimes, like life interrupts me, and I'm busy with the kids or whatever, and like I'll see an email and I'll think, oh, I should reply to them, and I forget when I get back home, and it gets lost in the shuffle. A lot of times I'll read an email while I'm in the car at a restaurant. I don't have time, and then I forget when I get back home. So please send it again, and I'll do the best I can. Okay, so don't forget we do this every Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.